Hello everyone, Shrutirtha here. I'm back once again with a fresh new video. I'm sorry I wasn't able to upload a video for such a long time in my channel. I've been busy with work and finally got some time to shoot this video today, and I'm going to upload it to my channel as soon as I get done with it. So today's topic is something that we are all extremely curious about to learn, to know, but there is no proper information which can really deepen our understanding in this topic. So the topic is statistics and machine learning and their relevance in the context of data science. So many people are confused about this thing, that what is data science really all about? Is it all about statistics? Is it all about machine learning? Or is it a mix of both these two things? What is it at the end of the day? And there are different opinions regarding this all over the world. And there is no consensus among those opinions. So I myself was very much confused with this, and so what I did was I did a lot of research online, found a lot of very interesting articles related to this topic, and finally formed an understanding of what this thing actually is. And let me share that understanding with all of you today in this video. So statistics is basically a discipline whose main philosophy is to draw inferences about a certain unknown population from a sample that has been drawn from it at random. That's the main purpose of this subject, of this discipline. That means it wants to infer different characteristics of an unknown population from a snapshot of that population that has been drawn from it at random in the form of a sample. And machine learning is a discipline whose main philosophy is to find generalizable predictive patterns from a piece of data, from a set of data that has been thrown at it. So on one hand, the statistical philosophy is trying to achieve best inference capability about an unknown population from a sample drawn at random from that population. And on the other hand, the machine learning philosophy is trying to maximize its performance towards finding the most generalizable predictive patterns from a certain data set that has been thrown at it. So if you see and think deeply, the main objective of the statistical philosophy is inferencing and about an unknown population. And the main objective of the machine learning philosophy is prediction. Now, where you use machine learning and where you use statistics totally depends on what problem statement you are dealing with and what is the inherent nature of that problem statement, in the sense that does that problem statement intrinsically render itself more towards the machine learning philosophy, or does it intrinsically render itself more towards the statistical philosophy? That means, is the problem statement, or rather I should say, are the major aspects of the problem statement rendering itself more towards prediction, which is the machine learning philosophy, or is it rendering itself more towards inferencing about a certain unknown population, which is the statistical philosophy? And that is essentially what will drive the choice of your method that you will use to solve that problem statement. Now, in a lot of real world cases, there are different aspects of a certain problem statement, and in many of them it might happen that some of these aspects render themselves more towards the machine learning philosophy, whereas some of these aspects might render themselves more towards the statistical philosophy. So accordingly, you have to choose the methods that you're going to use. So this is the high level information about what machine learning and statistics really are in the context of data science, and how would you go about choosing methods from one of these two philosophies in order to solve a certain problem statement using some data sets that has been given to you. Now let me touch upon another important aspect here as to how would you exactly make this choice, by giving some examples. So say for example, I want to build a recommendation engine for an OTT platform that actually shows online content to its users in the form of movies, TV shows, CDs, different other kinds of things. And here my main objective is to make an algorithm, is to develop an algorithm that can give the best recommendations for an user who is using that platform, like suggest different kinds of movies, TV shows, and other kinds of OTT content that the user would really like based on his or her previous watch history or various other profile characteristics, which could be demographic, geographical, and of various other kinds. So this is the problem statement that I have to solve. Now, if you actually think about this problem statement deeply, you will understand that this problem statement, or rather the major aspects of this problem statement, are primarily rendering themselves more towards the machine learning philosophy, which is that of prediction. Right? Now suppose I choose a certain machine learning method, say a certain deep learning network, a deep neural network, and I really train it on a vast number of examples that basically has information on the watch history of users for this platform, and maybe say other platforms as well. And based on that, I come up with this trained deep neural network model that is able to generate new recommendations of movies, TV shows, and other online content for any new user who is, say, signing up in that platform for, say, the first time, or maybe is a new user of that platform with a limited watch history or something like that. So in this case, if you actually see, this problem statement is primarily about finding predictive patterns from the data set that could be generalized to new users. So that's how it's actually a machine learning. It is, this problem statement primarily is rendering towards the machine learning philosophy. Now, suppose all this is done and the recommendation algorithm has been built using some deep neural network in terms of machine learning philosophy, and now it is all ready and it has been built in the form of an app. Now suppose the company wants to see that, okay, if some features of this app in terms of the user interface and user experience are changed, will that lead to significant improvement in the number of new signups for this service, or some other key business performance metrics for this online content streaming platform, right, for this company. So if you now think about it, so now that company, we say for example, it will come up with a new version of this app and basically try to compare it with its existing version and see which of these two versions is really better, right, and in terms of driving a significant improvement in terms of the key business performance metrics, like say number of new signups, or maybe number of watch hours for different shows and stuff like that, or maybe other kinds of feedback scores that are kept track of. So all of these things, right? So if you now see this aspect of this problem statement, this is actually a new problem statement that is related to the previous one that I just described, but it's still sort of the same umbrella you can think of. And basically the final objective is to come up with this new app that will have this new recommendation engine running in its backend, and also this new enhanced user experience and interfacing features. So if you see the second part of the problem statement, this problem statement is more about inferencing rather than prediction. Why? Because here I'm more interested in understanding if the new version of the app, which has this new set of features, or say one new feature, whatever, is this new version really achieving a significant improvement in terms of some key business performance metrics for the company. And here is where I'll be using the statistical philosophy, whose main objective is to draw inferences about a certain unknown population from a sample that has been drawn from the population. So what I would do here is I would go for a statistical hypothesis testing, or what we know as A/B testing in this particular industry. So this is where statistical philosophy comes into play. So you see, for the same overall problem statement, which is basically building a new recommendation engine for movies and basically packaging that up in the form of an application, an app for this online content streaming company. You saw that the same overall problem statement has two different aspects, and one aspect is rendering itself more towards the machine learning philosophy, whereas the other aspect of it, the second one, is rendering itself towards the statistical philosophy, and accordingly the choice of methods is obtained. So this is an overview of how you would decide the choice of the method or the set of methods that you are going to explore and try out for your problem statement based on the data sets that you have access to for that particular problem statement. And I hope this has really cleared a lot of the confusion that you have had related to this topic, and I wish you all the best in terms of your new data science assignments. Thank you all for your valuable time. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.